If there's a movie, he's gonna rate it. He's gonna talk to his friends and they'll debate it. He's gonna try his best to not be a hater. His name is Billy the Movie Grader.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Movie Grader and Friends podcast, your weekly or semi-weekly podcast talking about all of the latest movies in the theaters today. I am Billy, the Movie Grader, and in this solo episode, I will be talking about the new movie Midway for a bit, and then talking about the movies to be released this upcoming week. Midway was released on November 8th, 2019, and per IMDb, it is the story of the Battle of Midway, of course, that is told by the leaders and sailors that fought it. It was directed by Roman Emmerich, and it stars Ed Skrein, Patrick Wilson, and Woody Harrelson, to name a few members of a pretty sizable cast. First off, what Midway did well. The CGI was insanely good, and it alone is worth the price of admission. It made you feel as if you were there. The whole look to Midway was pretty authentic feeling as well. Costumes were excellent, and from what I can tell, true to the time period. And the storytelling was balanced and well presented. The movie didn't take one side or another, didn't side with the Americans, or didn't side with the Japanese. It just told it the way it happened. Apparently. Of course, I wasn't there. The sound was incredible. I saw it in a Dolby screen, of course, with a Dolby sound system, and every bomb that dropped in the movie made your seat shake, and you could pretty much almost feel every bullet that whizzed by you on the screen. The sound totally added to the experience of the movie, and it made it pretty unforgettable. And now for what Midway did not do so well. Luckily, there wasn't much. Some of the acting felt pretty phoned in, which was disappointing because with such a talented cast alongside of it, there was really no excuse for such poor acting. A few one-liners were pretty cheesy and felt out of place given the serious subject matter at hand. I mean, it was a historic war, and they had cheesy one-liners that were trying to make you laugh throughout the movie. I just thought it was out of place, and it didn't work. Maybe it's editing. I don't know. It just didn't work. I graded the movie a B because I did enjoy my time with Midway. And the only real knock on the movie was the lackluster acting. And there was really no excuse for it. Now to talk a bit about the movies opening up the week of November 15th, 2019. First up is Charlie's Angels. And it's a reboot of The Three Girls Who Kick Ass, directed by Elizabeth Banks and stars Kristen Stewart, Naomi Scott, Ella Balinska, and Elizabeth Banks. And from what I can gather about the plot, it is simply another mission handed to the Angels for them to take care of. Just a rinse and repeat of other prior movies. And, will I see it? Probably not. Maybe. I'm not too hyped for another one of these movies after the last few installments have been pretty painful to watch. I might fit it in. Maybe. Don't count on it. Next up is The Good Liar, and this one's directed by Bill Condon, and it stars the amazing combination of Helen Mirren and Ian McKellen. It's basically about a con artist who's after someone's money. It looks pretty good. I mean, I might see it. I saw the trailer, and you guys should check out the trailer too. The trailer does look quite good, and I might check it out. But the movie I am most excited for is Ford vs. Ferrari. It is directed by James Mangold and stars Christian Bale and Matt Damon. The movie is about the historic battle of Ford versus Ferrari at the 24-hour Le Mans back in 1966. Cannot wait. I honestly already got my ticket, and I'm seeing it on Thursday night in a Dolby Cinema theater. Well, that will pretty much wrap it up for this episode of the Movie Grader and Friends podcast. Next Tuesday, watch out for the podcast episode covering, of course, Ford vs. Ferrari. Please find me on Instagram and Twitter at The Movie Grader, and please visit my website, www.themoviegrader.com. I've been working on my SEO in order to drive more traffic to the website, and I would appreciate if anybody would check out the website and share it with your friends. It would help me out a lot. On iTunes, please review and subscribe to the podcast if you haven't done so already. Also, please tell your friends about the podcast. I thank you so much for the support. The Movie Grader and Friends podcast is available on all major podcast platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and basically anywhere you can get your podcasts from. This has been the Movie Grader and Friends podcast. Thank you for your time. Feel free to email me at themoviegrader@gmail.com with any comments or suggestions, and see you next Tuesday.